So 2025 has been the year of a deep investment in myself. I am studying piano under a great performance pianist and an educator. And I'm also being mentored by a really successful entrepreneur, Minar Fan, who is an 8-figure businesswoman, like real badass powerhouse in her field. What has been really eye-opening for me is that although those two mentors of mine, they are in completely different fields, but I started noticing that they have things in common that they share. Their mindset, their discipline, and how they show up in the world. It's been really interesting to see how they overlap in different worlds. And today I want to share 5 secrets that I learned from these 2 amazing mentors of mine and share my take on art and mastery at the end. So number 1, their lives are simple. What I mean by that is they are locked in to their vision and their mission. They are laser focused on their mastery, and they're not constantly distracted by something that is not it. They are not constantly pulled into 10 different directions in their lives, which also implies that they have discipline, they have control over their lifestyle, and as a result of that, they have created a clean and very orderly life that they can focus on their mastery and their zone of genius. They don't get FOMO on what everyone else is doing, what the rest of the world is interested in. They know what their priorities are, and they don't get derailed from what their goals are. We're living at a very distracting and noisy world. To earn that mastery and reach that level of success, you need to be zoned in to whatever you are trying to achieve. Number 2, they understand meta learning. What do I mean by that? Meta learning means that they understand the logistics and process of learning. They understand how brain works, how learning occurs, and how your brain processes information. This is something really important when you are shooting for that top 1%. So meta learning allows you to be more strategic in how you learn, work smarter, not just harder, right? So both of my mentors, they emphasize that learning happens when your brain is stretched out in a very uncomfortable way, and then it creates new neural pathways. Even my piano professor, he knows how learning works, so he can give me all the exercises and practices that will rip my brain apart and then create a new neural pathways. Because when you are just staying in your comfort zone of learning and doing the stuff that you are used to do, that's not when the learning happens. You know, when you go to the gym, when you're lifting the same old 5-pound dumbbell, your muscle is not actually growing. The growth of muscle happens when your muscles, the tissues, are literally ripped apart and then recovered after your workout. And same thing happens in the intellectual learning. When you are learning new ways of thinking, and when they are put together, that's when the magic happens, and that's when you have created a new neural pathways. Number 3, it sounds very obvious, but I wanted to add it to my list. So their mastery is their identity. They are devoted to their craft. This is not something that they do as a way of making money. No, this is something that they live for. They are almost possessed by their mission Whatever form that they pursue their mission or art, they're here and they're here to do it. That's why they're always learning and investing. They're already great. They are way ahead of me, and they're investing more time and more energy into sharpening their skills and their education. It's not about getting to that point and then you're great. They understand that mastery is something bigger than yourself. It's not something that the way you pick up a Pokemon, that's not how it works. So their mastery is their lifestyle. Number 4, they are not self-made. Don't get me wrong. They are talented, gifted in what they do, but still they're not self-made. You could be very natural and very intuitive in something, but you still need to learn all the building blocks and all the skills to get you to that 1%, that mastery level. So my professor, he is incredibly talented and he's very intuitive musically, but he is still highly educated. He has that PhD. He had several teachers. My mentor, my life coach, she is super badass, great entrepreneur, great thinker, but she has invested more than $1 million into self-development. So don't think that if you are talented, you don't need any mentors or education. No, this will take you higher if you are already talented. So education is a must when you are trying to master your craft. Invest in quality education, who knows what they're doing, and it will collapse time for you. So lastly, number 5 is that they are able to enter that flow state, the zone, but they're not lost there. What I mean by that is while they can allow themselves to be in that high complete flow state in their art, they are also able to create the structure of the big picture and their vision. They know how to achieve big goals. So this is a very technical side of mastery. So you can be a mad scientist, super genius, but if you can't get your shits together in the big picture, you are just a mad scientist. So this has been something that kept coming up past couple weeks by my mentor or my piano professor. Everything that they do is intentional. They fit in their bigger picture. They might be, when they're in their flow state, they might be mad scientists in their zone, but they never forget their big purpose and how what they're doing in the moment fits into that big picture. So this is a great skill if you have big dreams and you want to play in the bigger field. So you need to learn how to not just enter the flow state, which is really important when you're creating art, but you can't be stuck there and get lost. That's when an artist becomes a starving one. You need to have a plan. You need to have a vision, which dictates what you should be doing this month, this week, and this today. It requires a great deal of intention and discipline to do that, because most people are not willing to get that deep when it comes to their mastery. But this is something I noticed in both of my mentors. You might want to think about that. So this is my take on mastery and art. When I say art, I'm a pianist, but I'm not just talking about piano or music. Anything that you want to create, anything you want to beautify, anything that you want to achieve, those can be your art. Any skill, any art or mastery that you want to achieve, there is a level of submission and maturity that needs to happen on a very spiritual level. That letting go of the ego and understanding that this is something bigger than you. This is not some kind of nugget that you pick up and make yours or conquer. You have to realize that this art is something bigger than you, and you have to let yourself be really taken by this thing. I watched Wednesday, the Netflix series, a few weeks ago, and there was this line that really hit me. When Wednesday was playing cello in a dark room, really in the zone and really emotional, and this music teacher comes in and hears Wednesday play cello, and she goes, "Wednesday, don't try to control music. Let the music control you." As a pianist, I understand that completely. You cannot control the art. You have to let yourself really be consumed by it. And you really have to let go of your ego, and it is a really humbling experience. I believe that's how real art is channeled. So you need to have that level of devotion and patience and a sense of loyalty to that art, and realize that you cannot pursue a shortcut when you are trying to achieve mastery. And that's something that I have learned as a pianist, that you cannot be cocky when you are a musician or an artist. There are always things to learn, there are always things to improve, and you have to be smart at times. Mastery it cannot be achieved in a shortcut way. Be sure to have fun, but also take it seriously. We live in a world where everyone wants shortcuts and easy way to make money and acquire skills. But if you are really somebody who wants to master something on a deeper level, you have to go for that, not the low-hanging fruit, but the high-hanging fruit. And if you have any insights or ideas that you want to share about mastery in art, feel free to share it. I'll see you in the next video.